Throughout history, few celestial bodies have inspired as much intrigue, fear, and reverence as Saturn. This ring planet, the sixth from the Sun, is not only a marvel of the natural world, but also a powerful symbol woven deeply into ancient myths, religions, and occult traditions. Across civilizations, Saturn has been associated with time, death, limitation, and the inevitable decay that accompanies existence. To understand Saturn is to confront humanity's oldest fears and deepest questions about life, order, and destiny. Long before modern astronomy, Saturn was revered as a divine force. Known as Kronos in Greek mythology, Saturn was a god of time, often portrayed as an aged figure wielding a sickle. This image symbolized both harvest and the relentless passage of time, which nurtures life only to destroy it in the end. Kronos was also linked to agriculture, reinforcing the idea of cyclical existence, birth, growth, death, and rebirth. His reign was remembered as a golden age, a period of abundance and harmony. Yet even this era carried a darker undertone. Time, no matter how benevolent, ultimately consumes all things. The worship of Saturn, however, predates Greece and Rome. Scholars trace its roots back to ancient Mesopotamia and Sumer, where Saturn was associated with deities, such as Enlil, god of wind, air, earth, and storms. Enlil embodied immense power, capable of creation and destruction alike. This duality became central to Saturnian worship across cultures. Saturn was never simply a benevolent god. He was feared as much as he was revered, representing the fragile balance between life and annihilation. In ancient Egypt, Saturn was linked to Osiris, lord of the underworld and judge of the dead. Osiris symbolized death and resurrection, the eternal struggle between order and chaos. To the Egyptians, time was cyclical rather than linear, and death was not an end but a necessary transformation. This philosophy aligns seamlessly with Saturn's symbolism as the ruler of cycles, decay, and rebirth. As civilizations evolved, Saturn's worship took on new forms. In Rome, Saturn was honored during Saturnalia, a week-long festival marked by role reversals and social upheaval. Slaves dined as equals with their masters, gifts were exchanged, and normal hierarchies were temporarily suspended. Saturnalia echoed the mythic Golden Age, a nostalgic return to a time before rigid order and oppression. Yet beneath the celebration lingered Saturn's darker nature. As the god of time, Saturn was also the devourer. In myth, Kronos consumed his own children to prevent them from overthrowing him, a brutal allegory for time's inescapable power to destroy everything it creates. One of the most enigmatic aspects of Saturnian mythology is the idea of Saturn as the dark sun. In alternative cosmology and esoteric traditions, Saturn is believed to have once been a primordial star, a brown dwarf that served as Earth's original sun. According to this theory, Earth and other celestial bodies once orbited Saturn during an era sometimes called the Purple Dawn of Creation. The sky, it is said, glowed with a dim violet light, and Saturn loomed massive and unmoving overhead. This mythical age was thought to be a time of stability and tranquility, abruptly ended by a cosmic catastrophe that displaced Saturn from its central role. Floods, earthquakes, and global upheavals followed. Events echoed in the flood myths and destruction legends of ancient cultures worldwide. Saturn's fall from a central sun to a distant planet marked the end of an age and the rise of the solar system as we know it today. While this theory lies outside mainstream science, it persists in esoteric thought as a memory of a lost world and an explanation for Saturn's enduring symbolic power. Mysterious feature of Saturn is the massive hexagon-shaped storm at its north pole. Discovered by Voyager spacecraft and later studied in detail by the Cassini mission, this structure spans roughly 20,000 kilometers, with each side comparable to Earth's diameter. Its near-perfect symmetry and long-term stability have puzzled scientists and captivated mystics alike. From a scientific standpoint, the hexagon is a result of complex atmospheric dynamics and Saturn's rapid rotation. Yet its geometric precision has elevated it beyond mere meteorology in the eyes of esoteric thinkers. In sacred geometry, the hexagon represents harmony, balance, and cosmic order. It appears throughout nature, from honeycombs to crystalline structures, and is associated with the number 6, a number tied to creation and structure. The hexagon is also linked to the hexagram, or Star of David, a symbol of unity and divine balance. Its presence on Saturn has led many to interpret it as a cosmic signature, a visible marker of hidden universal laws. To occult traditions, the hexagon is not just a storm, but a symbol of Saturn's role as a keeper of time and a gatekeeper between dimensions. Saturn symbolism extends far beyond mythology and astronomy, deeply influencing religious practices across cultures. One of the most persistent Saturnian symbols is the black cube, a geometric form representing the material world, limitation, and structure. In Judaism, tefillin are small black cube-shaped boxes containing sacred verses, worn during prayer as a sign of devotion and binding to divine law. The cube symbolizes unity, discipline, and spiritual focus within the constraints of the physical world. In Islam, the Kaaba in Mecca stands as the most sacred site, a massive black cube around which pilgrims circumambulate 7 times during the Hajj. This ritual motion mirrors celestial orbits and has been interpreted by some as symbolically reflecting Saturn and its rings. The number 7, associated with Saturn across various traditions, reinforces this connection. Here, the black cube represents a material realm governed by divine law, time, and cosmic order. In Christianity, the influence of Saturn appears more subtly. Saturday, the day of rest in earlier traditions, derives its name from Saturn's day. The figure of Father Time, carrying a scythe and hourglass, echoes Saturn's ancient imagery as a harvester and ruler of temporal flow. Even when Saturn is no longer worshipped explicitly, its symbols persist embedded within cultural and religious frameworks. The darker side of Saturnian worship cannot be ignored. Historically, Saturn has been associated with sacrifice, control, and death. In ancient Carthage, rituals dedicated to deities linked with Saturn involved the sacrifice of infants, believed to secure prosperity and divine favor. These acts, horrifying by modern standards, reflected a worldview in which maintaining cosmic balance required appeasing forces that govern time and fate. This theme of sacrifice is mirrored in the myth of Kronos devouring his children, a symbolic warning about the cost of absolute power and the futility of resisting time. Saturn represents not only order but also oppression, limitation, and inevitability. In modern esoteric and conspiratorial thought, Saturn is often portrayed as the ruler of the material world, the force that binds humanity to physical reality. Some believe Saturnian symbolism appears deliberately in architecture, corporate imagery, and popular culture as a means of reinforcing control, reminding humanity of its limitations within time and matter. Whether interpreted literally or metaphorically, these ideas highlight Saturn's enduring psychological power. Saturn ultimately embodies duality. It is a god of harvest and famine, order and chaos, creation and decay. It forces humanity to confront mortality, structure, and the passage of time. Far from being a relic of ancient belief, the cult of Saturn persists as a symbolic framework through which humans attempt to understand existence itself. The story of Saturn is the story of humanity's struggle to find meaning within limitation. It reminds us that time both gives and takes, that every beginning carries an end, and that within decay lies a potential for renewal. Saturn stands as a silent witness in the sky, an ancient symbol urging us to look beyond appearances and confront the deeper truths hidden within the cycles that govern all things.